Let's talk about Kendrick Lamar, because something happened at the end of his tour that hit way deeper than anyone expected. Before we even dive in, let me just say this. Thank you so much to everyone who's been showing love and standing by through all the drama, the Drake fans wilding out, and every little smear they've tried to throw. Seriously, your support means everything. And hey, make sure to hit that like button, because this story right here deserves the spotlight. Now let's get into what really matters. Kendrick Lamar. When I saw how he wrapped up his tour, I couldn't even pretend like it was just another performance. Nah, there was something different in the air. And when I realized what was really going on, I'm not gonna lie, it hit me emotionally like a gut punch. I'm talking real chills, man. See, while everyone's busy talking about rap beefs, industry politics, or whatever game these rappers think they're playing, Kendrick's out here doing something that feels almost spiritual. It wasn't about ego or proving who's better. It was about connection, legacy, and purpose. What went down at those final 2 shows of his grand national tour? That was history being written right in front of our eyes. And listen, when he hit that stage in Argentina, that wasn't just a concert. It felt like a movement. The energy, unreal. The crowd, electric. Every lyric, every pause, every shout. It was like he was speaking to something bigger than fame or music. He was channeling something raw, something real. Because when Kendrick closed that night, it wasn't just him rapping bars. It was him telling the world, I'm not just an artist. I'm a messenger. The spirit, the passion, the way the crowd fed off him, it was like the universe itself was tuned in. That's why I'm saying, what happened there wasn't just a show. It was a statement. But there was something deeper moving through Kendrick Lamar that night. Something personal, something painful, something powerful. He wasn't just performing. He was channeling pure emotion for someone who meant the world to him. And that someone was none other than the late Nipsey Hussle. His brother in spirit, his friend, his inspiration. See, the last time Kendrick touched a stage in that part of the world was way back at Lollapalooza 2019. And what most people forget, or never even realized, is that right before that show, Kendrick got the devastating news that Nipsey was gone. Imagine that, about to step out in front of thousands, but your heart just got shattered minutes before. That kind of pain doesn't fade easy. It stays with you. And that's exactly what Kendrick carried back with him when he returned to that same region this time around. I didn't even connect the dots myself until recently. I was replaying songs from the Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers era, really listening. And when the Heart Part 5 came on, it hit me like lightning. Every line, every tone, you could hear the grief, the gratitude, and the ghost of Nipsey in his voice. It wasn't just music, it was healing in real time. And when Kendrick revealed that he cried that day before the Argentina show, everything made sense. He wasn't just mourning Nipsey, he was honoring him. It was like he came back to finish what they both started, to lift the same communities they fought for, to remind everyone what unity in hip-hop really looks like. So when Kendrick stepped onto that stage this time, it wasn't just another concert. It was a full circle moment. The same place where he once felt the weight of loss had now become the space where he transformed that pain into power. That's what made this tour finale legendary. It wasn't just history repeating, it was healing complete. Watching Kendrick Lamar's whole career come full circle like that, man, it just hits on another level. You could feel the emotion in every verse, every movement, like it all built up to this moment. And honestly, I can't help but think Nipsey Hussle would be proud as ever. He'd be looking down, seeing how far hip-hop has come and how his spirit, his message, and his drive to elevate the culture have pushed Kendrick to reach even higher heights. That connection between them still lives strong. You can feel it in the air. And I'm not gonna lie, it's hard not to get emotional thinking back to that time. Remember how heavy that moment was? Seeing Kendrick perform just days after losing Nipsey, you could see the pain, but also the strength. He didn't run from it. He turned that pain into art, into power. To think that same man who once struggled to keep it together on stage is now out here performing some of the most unforgettable shows in hip-hop history. That's growth, that's resilience, that's legacy in motion. Moments like this remind us why music, especially hip-hop, is such a powerful force. It's not just beats and rhymes, it's a universal language that connects souls. When it's real like this, it speaks louder than words ever could. Kendrick's performances weren't just concerts, they were conversations with the universe, moments of healing, truth, and greatness, all wrapped in rhythm. And honestly, that's why I had to point this out. Nobody else seems to be putting the pieces together, but when you look closer, it's all there. The story, the emotion, the evolution. So before we keep going, let's take a second to give a massive salute to the one and only Nipsey Hussle, a true legend whose energy still moves mountains. And to anyone out there missing someone today, this moment's for you too, because everything that follows from here, it's all about greatness, real, undeniable greatness. And for me, man, these past few days have just cemented Kendrick Lamar's GOAT case even harder than ever. Every time you think he's reached the peak, he somehow climbs higher. From the pure energy and emotion of that Argentina show to the explosive finale of the GNX tour, Kendrick didn't just perform, he proved something. And then, to top it off, getting that kind of public praise and co-sign from one of the greatest rappers alive, that's not just validation, that's coronation. It's like watching greatness in motion, the same way Kobe, LeBron, or Jordan walked off the court after winning gold. You see that look in their eyes, the kind that says, yeah, I earned this. That's exactly where Kendrick is right now. He's at that level where every bar, every move feels like history being made right in front of us. And it's wild because even his peers are bowing their heads in respect. When he hit that final stage on this leg of the GNX tour, you didn't even need words. The crowd told the story. The energy was electric, like everyone there knew they were witnessing something once in a generation. The visuals, the performance, the delivery, flawless. It's like Kendrick isn't even competing anymore. He's teaching a masterclass in what artistry looks like. And every time Family Ties comes on, it just hits harder. It's not just a song anymore, it's an anthem. The crowd goes crazy, the energy goes nuclear, and you can tell it's aged like fine wine. What's funny is, I keep wanting to call it Family Matters, and then I catch myself laughing. But seriously, that track is a moment in time. Let's not forget when it dropped. Right in the middle of that Certified Lover Boy verses. Donda era. Drake was trying to dominate the conversation, trying to edge out Kendrick with all that hype and marketing. But guess what? Kendrick didn't play their game. He dropped Family Ties, walked away, and the entire culture shifted. That's power. That's control. That's the difference between chasing clout and commanding respect. Right now, Kendrick's not just part of the game, he is the game. Seeing Family Ties still stand tall as the most culturally dominant track from that era says everything about Kendrick Lamar's precision and genius. That song didn't just trend, it stuck. It became a moment in hip-hop history that people still bring up years later. It's proof that Kendrick isn't just a rapper. He's a tactician, a master of timing and message. He knows exactly when to strike, and when he does, it shakes the whole culture. And let's be real, when Kendrick's verse comes in, it's a whole different league. As much as Baby Keem went off, Kendrick's delivery hits harder, sharper, and deeper. It's that veteran power, controlled, confident, and explosive all at once. Honestly, if he dropped this updated version officially on streaming, it would go viral all over again. It would be the perfect move to reignite that spark and remind everyone why he's sitting at the top. But hey, this is Kendrick we're talking about. He's not chasing numbers, he's chasing legacy. Still, imagine that drop. It'd break the internet overnight. Now back to the show, because the vibe there, unreal. You could feel the energy bouncing off the walls. Every person in that crowd knew they were witnessing greatness in motion. The way fans were moving, screaming, and connecting. It was like watching a global movement unfold in real time. Kendrick isn't just performing, he's rewriting what it means to be a superstar. He's built the rap version of Thriller, no exaggeration. The scale, the visuals, the perfection, no one in the game right now even comes close. But here's where things get even more interesting. In that final performance, Kendrick subtly switched up his style. And you know when he changes something, it's never random. The hat came back, the colorways shifted, and suddenly fans started speculating like detectives. That hat covered in card symbols, hearts, spades, clubs, diamonds. And if you've been following closely, you'll remember he wore a jacket with the exact same symbols once before during the second leg of the tour. Now, I'm not saying too much, but it feels like he's teasing something big. Maybe the next chapter, maybe a collab run with the TDE crew, especially Schoolboy Q. The symbolism is right there in front of us. It's like he's dropping Easter eggs for the real fans, the ones who pay attention to every detail. And now with Kendrick having wrapped up 3/4 of what might just be the most legendary tour the entire music industry has seen in years, it's clear we're witnessing a generational moment. Every stop, every set, every subtle move is adding to the myth of Kendrick Lamar, the artist who turned rap into theater, pain into poetry, and legacy into prophecy. And just when you thought Kendrick Lamar's GOAT case couldn't get any stronger, boom, it does. Because one of hip-hop's most respected icons just gave him one of the biggest compliments of his entire career. We're talking about a legend who helped build the foundation of rap itself, none other than Nas. When Nas speaks, the whole culture listens. So, in a recent interview, Nas was asked about today's state of hip-hop, and what he said about Kendrick, straight chills. He said, "Kendrick is one of the brightest stars we've ever seen." And I don't just mean superstar, I mean like the North Star. That's insane praise coming from Nas, the man behind Illmatic, one of the greatest storytellers of all time. That's not just respect, that's an anointing. To be called the North Star means you're guiding the culture, setting direction, and keeping hip-hop true to its roots. Think about that. From one GOAT to another. Nas didn't just say Kendrick's talented, he basically said Kendrick is the light that keeps the entire genre moving forward. That's the kind of acknowledgement that cements legacy forever. You can't fake that level of admiration. It comes from one real artist recognizing another who lives for the craft. And Nas didn't stop there. He went on to break down the problem with the game right now, saying too many rappers aren't here for the art. He literally said, "There are some that's not here for the art." Drake does. When we see those people that are not here for the art, damaging it, you're hurting the future of the art. That hit deep because he's not just talking about popularity or money, he's talking about integrity, soul, purpose. Nas made it clear, the future belongs to the ones who care, the ones who use their voice to speak out, to tell stories, to defend the culture when it's being watered down. And he singled out Kendrick as one of those rare artists who does exactly that. Someone who stands tall for hip-hop when everyone else just wants clout. He even mentioned how that energy has always been in the air, reminding people of when Outkast once wore shirts that said hip-hop is, long before it became a trend. That same message has come full circle, and Kendrick's carrying that torch right now. So yeah, when Nas, a literal pillar of the game, calls you the North Star of rap, that's not just a compliment, that's legacy certified. Just like in any sport, you want to see it thrive. You don't want the NBA slowing down. You want the game to keep evolving, breaking limits, setting new standards. And that's exactly what Nas was saying about hip-hop. The culture has to stay alive, stay sharp, stay hungry, and when it starts to slip, it takes someone like Kendrick Lamar to call it out and remind everyone what the real standard is. That's leadership, not just lyricism. And honestly, it's refreshing to see Nas, one of the realest voices ever, step up and speak truth in a time when too many rappers are quiet or scared to challenge the system. Nas has always used his words for good, for purpose, and this right here is just another example of why he's respected by everyone. It's no surprise either. Remember back when Kendrick dropped The Heart Part 5 and called out the industry's silence, even pointing out how nobody showed him love after the Super Bowl halftime show except for one person? That one person was Nasir Jones himself. That says it all. So to see Nas publicly give Kendrick this kind of praise, calling him the North Star, that's one of the biggest compliments any rapper could ever dream of getting. That's not just approval, that's a passing of the torch. When one legend recognizes another like that, it's a generational moment. Let's keep it real. When you're talking about building a GOAT resume, getting co-signed by Nas hits different. We're talking about a man who built his legacy from Illmatic, one of the purest hip-hop albums ever made, and stayed true to the art from day one. Even now, Nas continues to honor the culture by bringing legends back to life through his projects, from Raekwon and Mobb Deep to the unreleased works of Big L. That's a man carrying the history of hip-hop on his shoulders while still celebrating the new torchbearers like Kendrick. Jay-Z, Eminem, yeah, they're goats in their own lanes, no question. But Nas, he's the soul of the culture. He represents what hip-hop was meant to be: raw, reflective, and revolutionary. So when a man like that calls Kendrick Lamar not just a superstar but the North Star, that's like Michael Jordan saying Kobe Bryant was the one who truly carried the game after him. That's legacy talking to legacy. That's greatness recognizing greatness. At this point, Kendrick's not just part of the conversation, he is the conversation. Because when you really sit with Nas's words, it's so on brand for a master wordsmith like him to say something that deep, that poetic, and that intentional. But what truly stands out is how he used that moment to big up Kendrick Lamar in a way that shows pure admiration and respect. It's not every day you see a legend lift another artist like that, and that's what makes it so powerful. Think about it. Nas moves in circles full of the greats. We're talking Slick Rick, Ghostface Killah, Raekwon, all icons who built this culture brick by brick. And yet when Nas looks at the modern rap landscape, the one name that keeps coming up, the one artist that still represents everything hip-hop was meant to stand for, that's Kendrick Lamar. Among all the noise, trends, and distractions, Kendrick is the one who stays rooted in the core values that the OGs fought for: truth, artistry, and integrity. And it's wild, because this relationship between Kendrick and Nas has always been built on pure mutual respect. Since day one, Nas has shown love to Kendrick, recognizing him as not just a student of the game, but someone who carries the game forward. That bond goes beyond words. It's like watching two generations of greatness connect through pure authenticity. Here's a fun fact that most people don't even realize. Kendrick actually wanted Nas to be on his iconic track, "Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst." Yeah, that one. Arguably one of the greatest rap songs ever made. But Nas couldn't record his verse in time, which just makes you wonder how incredible that collaboration could have been. Still, even without that verse, the respect between them only grew stronger over the years. And what's even crazier, they've quietly been working in sync recently. From Nas giving that powerful cosign during Kendrick's GNX run, to Kendrick sampling and flipping Nas's legendary track from Man at the Garden, it's clear there's a creative connection between the two that's deeper than most realize. It's like Nas passed the torch and Kendrick's been lighting the path ever since. So yeah, when you see Nas, one of hip-hop's original architects, calling Kendrick Lamar the North Star, it tells you everything you need to know about where the culture stands right now. The old guard sees him, the legends respect him, and the world, they're finally catching up to what real greatness looks like. So what do you think about this legendary connection between Nas and Kendrick Lamar? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share this video. It helps a ton, and I'll catch you in the next one.